Hello everyone. In the last video, I announced that I'm going to do an art collection that I'm going to put in a coffee shop or brewery or something. Um, and I figured I would take you along in the process of that. I'm going to show you one of them that I'm making so far. I already made a couple of them. Yeah, I love seeing how a painting is made and hearing the story behind it, so figured I'd share that with you. I did end up buying an iPad to help in my art process in general. My biggest struggle with the kind of framing around the painting is getting the colors right, actually. And so being able to take a photo of it and then color on Procreate around it and do different designs and um, really kind of plan it out instead of having to hand draw on paper is super nice. Um, and I'm really excited that I finally have one of those. I've been wanting one for years. It was crazy. So, very exciting that I finally got that. And it definitely helped in making this painting. Um, it's already done. I'm actually talking to you after it's finished because I didn't feel like talking beforehand. um, but let's get this video rolling. I'm sick of living like I'm only ever given so that I can take the praise. I got to speaking to the man at my door about how to change my ways. I found a reason in the seat of my soul, but that things seem better days. You better put me in my place. Paint beyond the grave. This particular painting is of Blackmore Mountain up in Highlight area near Bozeman, Montana. It is such a magical place because it's so close to town. This particular hike to get to um, this place was, I think, like 10 miles or something, and some decent elevation gain. But once you get up on the ridgeline, there's so many basins, and like just seeing all the different ridge lines is so pretty. I've only been up here twice, but well worth it each time. This day, I had the whole place to myself. The whole hike, I didn't see a single person, mostly because I start at around sunrise, so that it's not too hot in the day, and but that also means I don't see anybody, which is nice in some ways, but also kind of scary in like a I don't want to encounter a bear sort of way. But it was mostly woods on the way up, and then it opens to a big clearing, and then you start hiking up the basin. And I prefer to hike in those places because then you can see if there is any wildlife around you. I had a great time up there. However, there were I was getting just attacked by these horseflies. There were so many of them up in this particular area. It was wild. Oh my gosh, it was truly terrible. And I think maybe I have a video of that you can see all the horseflies in it, but oh my gosh, was it bad. Um they they were just horrendous. So I had to hike back down and eat my snack and all that, but there's some mountain goats that live up there that I've seen. That's super fun to watch them. They're such goofy looking things, and I I love watching them just exist. They can stand on like nothing on like a cliffside and be fine. It is
crazy. But um I was up there enjoying my snack, and all of a sudden I started hearing this like yelling. And so I like start looking around, and I'm like, what is going on? Is somebody in danger? What is it? And it was just these two trail runners that were just so stoked to be out running. Um, really happy for them. Glad that they were enjoying it, and they were probably shouting um, to be like bear aware and like scare anything off that they'd run up on, which makes sense. However, I had to hear them hooting and hollering for miles, like because it's in a basin, it echoes, and so I heard them on the way up, and then I heard them on the way down. Um, and that's not really why I go out into nature is to listen to that, but they're probably just being safe, and good for that. And on the way down, there were these two women that like were yelling and waving their arms and telling me to stop because they saw a bear. Um, and so I like stop and I like wait and look around. I don't see anything. Turns out it was just a rock. It was a big boulder. It was not a bear. But I really appreciate that they warned me, because if it had been a bear, that would have been intense. So I'm really glad that they took the precaution at least, and that was very kind of them. By the time I got back to the car, it was really hot, and I was tired and just ready to go home, which is usually how it is at the end of the hike. I am just kind of over it the last couple miles, but then I do it all over again the next time, you know? And I really like taking my own reference photos because then it doesn't feel like I'm like copying anybody or ripping someone off. I'm just doing my own thing, and I definitely just prefer to have it that way. And then I have like a little stock of photos that I can choose from to paint, and I really like that actually. And I know like especially famous places like the Tetons or something, um, it's all essentially going to be the same photos that people are taking if they stand in the same spot and all that. But I'd rather just like take my own and then not have somebody freak out at me and be like, no, this is my photo and this is whatever. I just would rather do it all myself, and then I can have it laid out exactly how I would want. And it's just like the way that I prefer to do things. But this process as a whole of making a collection is really intimidating, um, because you don't know if people are really going to like it. And you can like kind of ask around and get a feel for it, but you don't really know until you actually display them and try and sell them. Um, and it's also just like really hard because I have been going to a bunch of coffee shops and breweries looking at the pricing of things, and it is so hard to know what to price things at. And I know you shouldn't compare like art and that sort of thing because it is subjective, and it totally just depends on the individual. But these people are pricing their things, and in my opinion, their paintings are so much better than mine. And so I'm like, well, I don't really like deserve to price it at that, and but I don't really know what to price it at because I don't want to sell myself short. And so I am definitely gonna have to do um, some like calculations and just decide on how I want to price things. If I want to do it by like square inch, cost per square inch, or the time. Of course, materials will be factored into that. So there's just like a lot of intimidating things about it, and you kind of have those doubts of like, well, is someone even like gonna want these things because I'm spending so much time making this collection and working really hard on it, that what if I like do all this work and no one's interested? And oh man, it is like a scary thing. And I've always heard people talk about that and how scary it is and like kind of vulnerable it is to show people your artwork. And it really is because it's something that like you worked on, and it came from like your mind, your skill, your time, and it would feel not good to be like rejected in a way. Um and it truly could just be that like maybe you need to change the audience that you're um selling these things to, and it's all it's all subjective and it's scary. Definitely. But on the other hand, I am really proud of these paintings and I do really like it, and I like the process of making them and painting and spending my time doing that, which of course there's that like guilt that people feel of not going out and enjoying the summer months as much as you can and being outside. And so like I feel that when I like all I want to do is work on my art, and it is such like a weird feeling, especially where I'm at. Like location wise, people are just like super athletes. It's kind of freaky. Um, and so everyone's always talking about these crazy things that they did, and so then you have like FOMO about like, oh, like you feel the pressure to do all these crazy things, and um, but that's not even necessarily what I want to do or how I want to spend my time. Of course, I do want to go on a few more hikes this summer and go camping. I haven't really done that much, but I've also had like car troubles, so that certainly doesn't help. Um, but I'm trying my best to not feel guilty about wanting to paint because that's how I want to spend my time. And that's fine. Why would I make myself miserable doing like a 10-mile hike that I don't want to do? So that's been something that I've been really working on as well. I do paint with acrylics, and the particular ones that I'm using, the Winsor Newton, like I think it's like the middle of the road kind of ones. It's not like expert because that's even more expensive, but it's nice paint. Um, it does take a couple layers to build up, and that is nice in some ways, but in other ways, it is kind of hard to trust the process and on how things are going. Usually, I kind of like it, and then I don't like the painting, and then I love it. So, definitely goes in waves, and I feel like most people experience that, but that's just fine. And I am like loving my idea of having painted frames around it. It is super cool. And the thing is, like, so I'll draw out the design on around the corners and everything, and then I want to preserve that, so then I have to paint around it, which is totally fine. Like, I'm choosing to do this. But I'm kind of wondering if maybe I should paint around the landscape first and then try and draw on the designs after so that I don't have to paint all around it because I do have to do multiple layers of this, as I said. And you can see that this is not very opaque. So um, I'm kind of thinking that I'm going to try that on the next one that I work on. Just paint the like crisp lines, and it might be a lot less time consuming because it does take a lot of time to paint around all these edges and designs, and then also make sure that I'm painting in the right areas and not the wrong areas. Um, so I think that that process could be improved, but we'll see how that goes on the next one because maybe I won't like that. I'm pretty sure the next video that I'm going to post is going to be talking about how I'm going to relaunch an Etsy store. Um, and I think that would be a great way to reach people. I probably won't sell my originals on there. It's just going to be designs either that I drew on my iPad, or maybe I'll make prints of these pieces that I am painting and sell them on there. We'll see what that entails, but I'll talk about all that in the next video. I love the tape peel on these, and I do actually reuse the tape that I use, because you can use it multiple times, and so I'll just make sure to carefully tear them off and not like ruin them, so then I can use them for the like inside parts, and it's just a lot nicer and less wasteful and saves money and all that. So I do reuse the tape, believe it or not. I think that's all that I really wanted to talk about and tell you about this painting. So I will let you listen to some music.
For you, but you and I both know that's not true. But that won't make no difference to the shade.
I hope you enjoyed watching the process of me making this painting. I am super happy with it. Um, Turned out really well. The colors are so cool, and I'm still kind of questioning if I want to add any more details to it. So I haven't varnished it yet, and um, same with a few of the other paintings that I've made so far. I'm just kind of like letting them settle first and be all together, I think, and then I'll fully decide and then maybe varnish them all at once. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, I hope you are enjoying watching this process of me making my dreams come true and working really hard to do it. Um, like it if you like the video, subscribe if you want to keep watching me on this journey, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.